So in 2023, he had 203 carries for 1,280 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6.3 yards on average.
BWB, bandwagon bust.
That's right. It's your man's Harry Billion. Please do me a favor and smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give me the thumbs up and don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you can get the videos as soon as it uploads to YouTube. All right, family, so I gotta go ahead and get into this video real quick. So that's all the business I got. You know what time it is. Let's work. So shout out to Dylan Edwards for this video. Dylan Edwards went home and put on 12 pounds. He's looking mean and lean. He's about to take that Big 12 by storm. I want to take a look at some of the top running backs in the Big 12 and compare their numbers to Dylan Edwards. Obviously, we didn't run the ball that much. Like I said in the TLP live videos, guys, that the Big 12 is a running conference. And when you see the numbers that I'm about to share with you guys, you'll understand exactly why I said the Big 12 is a running conference. I'm not doing the entire roster for the Colorado running backs room, okay? I'm just looking at Dylan Edwards. He has 76 carries for 321 yards, 1 touchdown, 4.2 average. Every time they gave him that ball, he carried it for at least 4 yards. I want you to keep that in mind as we look at the other running backs' numbers. Dylan Edwards only has 76 carries, and he had 321 yards in 2023. Colorado did not run the ball that much because the narrative was that we didn't have a good offensive line. So if you don't have a good offensive line, they can't really block for the run. So the running opportunities, according to the team, was not there. Now, obviously, I don't agree with that. I feel like they could have ran the ball a little bit more, but just for the sake of this video, let's just say they're going to get a better offensive line. So we're hoping that Colorado will run the ball a whole lot more in the 2024 season, and Dylan Edwards is going to have a breakout year. I feel like the fact that he put on 12 pounds, I feel like those 12 pounds are going to allow him to run through guys a little bit better, guys to bounce off of him a little bit more. There's going to be big linebackers coming at him in the Big 12. There's a lot of ranked teams again that we're going to be playing in the Big 12. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of the top running backs in the Big 12. Let's go. All right, guys, so this article is from LonghornWire.usatoday.com. This one was written by Tyler Oglesby. This is pre-2023 season for the running backs, ranking the top Big 12 running backs by PFF grade. I'm going to go ahead and put our schedule on the screen. So we're going to be playing Texas Tech. So their running back is Taj Brooks. His run grade is 85.2 for the 2022 season. He rushed for 785 yards, and his yards per carry was 5.9. He had 5 rushing touchdowns, and he had 2 fumbles. That was for the 2022 season. This is Taj Brooks' numbers for the 2023 season. He's 5'10". He weighs 230 pounds. He's going to be a senior. His birthplace is Maynard, Texas. He carried the ball 290 times, 1,541 yards. He had 10 touchdowns in 2023 as opposed to 5 touchdowns that he had in 2022. And he had 5.9 in 2022, but he averaged 5.3 in 2023. Just think about it. Carried the ball 290 times for 1,541 yards. The Big 12 runs the ball, guys. The Big 12 definitely runs the ball. These numbers are going to be indicative of how much the Big 12 runs the ball. We got to run that ball to be successful in this Big 12. Let's go to the next player. Number 3 is TCU, but we don't play TCU, so we don't necessarily need that information. All right, so number 4 is going to be DJ Giddens from Kansas State. All right, we do play Kansas State. His grade is 83.7. In 2022, he rushed for 541 yards. He had 5.8 yards per carry. Rushing touchdowns was 4, and he has 0 fumbles. Now we take a look at his 2023 numbers. He is coming in as a sophomore. He's 6'1", 212 pounds. He's from Junction City, Kansas, and here are his 2023 numbers. DJ Giddens had 223 carries, 1,226 yards, 10 touchdowns. He averaged 5.5 yards per carry. So he's pretty consistent with his yards per carry. He definitely did break out in 2023 for 1,200 yards. Again, that's another 1,000 plus yards for a Big 12 running back. They run the ball. They're giving him the ball 223 times. Something to think about. Our next running back is from Kansas. And you see right there, we do play Kansas, the Kansas Jayhawks, and they have Devin Neal as their running back. His run grade is 81.6. In 2022, he rushed for 659 yards. Yards per carry was 7.3. He rushed for 6 touchdowns, had 1 1 fumble. Devin Neal's 2023 information, 5'11", 210 pounds. He is from Lawrence, Kansas, a junior. So in 2023, he had 203 carries for 1,280 yards, 16 touchdowns, 6.3 yards on average. Another 1,000+ yard running back. All right, guys, we're going to keep pushing it. The Big 12 runs the ball. All right, bandwagon buffs, BWB, Buff Nation, you're hearing me? The Big 12 runs the ball. You understand what I'm saying? They got 1,000+ yards running backs. They're going to run the ball. We better be getting ready to run that ball. I'm telling you for sure. All right, our next running back is going to be RJ Harvey from UCF. RJ has a grade of 80.4 rushing yards in 2022, 523 yards. Yards per carry was 5.9. Rushing touchdowns 6. He fumbled 2 times. He's 5'8", 195 pounds. He is low to the ground, boy. He is 5'8", much shorter than I am. My goodness. All right, from Orlando, Florida. He carried the ball 226 times for 1,416 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 6.3 yards average. That's a lot of yards. Every time he touched that ball, he was going at least 6.3 yards. Another 1,000+ yards. Sheesh. Boy's running, boy. Woo! Corey Kiner. Pull up our schedule to let you know that we do play the Cincinnati Bearcats. What is Corey Kiner's grade? Is 80.1. In 2023, he rushed for 434 yards. He had 5 yards per carry. He rushed for 2 touchdowns in 2022, and he has 0 fumbles. Corey Kiner's information in 2023, he's 5'9", 215 pounds, coming in as a junior. He carried the ball for 192 times. He had 1,047 yards, 5 touchdowns, 5.5 yards average. Another 1,000+ yard back in the Big 12. That's a narrative. That's a narrative, okay? Think about the narrative. Think about the narrative. They're running the ball heavy. The Big 12 runs the ball heavy. They run the ball heavy, all right? You feel me? Oklahoma State. Let's pull up our schedule. We play Oklahoma State Cowboys, okay? Sorry, Cowboy fans. You know which Cowboys I'm talking about. Sorry, Cowboy fans. Boy, heartbreaker. Anyways, Ole Gordon II, his run grade is 79.4. Rushing yards, 534 yards in 2022. He averaged 6.1 yards per carry, rushed for 4 touchdowns, has 0 fumbles. Ole Gordon II. He's a sophomore, 6'1", 211 pounds from Fort Worth, Texas. His 2023 season stats, he carried the ball 285 times, 1,732 yards, 21 touchdowns, 6.1 yards average. Every time he touched the ball, he went at least 6.1 yards. 1,700 yards in 2023. That's nuts, boy. Woo! They run the ball in the Big 12. They run the ball in the Big 12. Okay? The last guy is LJ Martin, but we don't play BYU, so we don't really care about that. Now, let me just give you a little bit of a perspective. We're looking at Dylan Edwards' numbers here, okay? Dylan Edwards carried the ball 76 times for 321 yards. Just think about that. The fact that he only carried the ball 76 times and got 321 yards, averaging 4.2 yards, it should let you know that if you put the ball in his hands more, he could have a 1,000-yard season. So if we're going to commit to the run this year, I believe Dylan Edwards, Alton McCaskill, they could have very close to 1,000 yards, or at least one of them having over a 1,000-yard season. One of those running backs in our running backs room, I believe for us to be successful, has to have over 1,000 yards season for us to be successful. Now, I will concede to the pass game if the line is blocking so well for Shedeur that the pass game is really dominating and we are scoring a lot of touchdowns and we're blowing out teams or we're beating teams with the pass, then I'll concede to that. But if we revert to the same old thing and these defensive coordinators on these other teams start to recognize that we're one-dimensional and this start to stop us from passing the ball and this start hitting Shedeur again like in 2023, we're going to be in some really deep trouble. So at that time, it will be too late to start running then. I suggest that we run the ball a really good amount to start the season off, to throw teams off so that it doesn't seem like we're just doing the run out of necessity when Shedeur is getting hit. Then it'll be easy to stop the run because it's predictable. I hope and and pray that we are not a predictable team, a team that's just going to be leaning so heavily on the pass, and we only go to the run to try to save us because our quarterback's getting hit or because we don't have enough time for our wide receivers to get open. So I'm really hoping that we establish the run early so that our running backs can get their reps in and start getting comfortable with carrying the ball. That plays a big part into that as well. The running backs need to get reps to get comfortable, to know what's happening with the Big 12. These linebackers are coming in. They need to get that ball in their hand to get comfortable, to get confident in order for them to do their job well down the line. You can't wait till the middle of the season. If the pass is working so great, you cannot leave your running backs on the sideline and don't involve them in the game and just lean on the pass. And then when things get hectic, then you start calling onto your running backs. They wouldn't have the reps. They'll be a little rusty. And if you throw them in the game at that point and they're not doing well, you're going to give us the same old narrative and say, well, you see, we running the ball, but it's not working. That's not how it works. You got to establish your run early, get your running backs going so that they'll feel comfortable in order for them to start doing well down the road in the season. The same way that you need to establish everything, like the pass and your wide receivers, you need to get them going. You need to get your running backs going just the same. You got to get your offensive line to be the most aggressors. The way that you get them to be aggressors is to establish the run. Ask any offensive lineman, how do you get the offensive line to be aggressive? You got to establish the run. That gives them the position to be more aggressive than always having to block for that pass. Blocking for the run is a little different from blocking for the pass. They get to be aggressive early. If you establish that early, they can get more confident and they can do their job a little better going down the season. Okay?